Hey there! Welcome back to Clip Your English. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jake.
Today, we're talking about something super important, how to sound more natural when you speak English. You know, like a real person, not a textbook.
Exactly. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to use everyday expressions and phrases that native speakers actually use in real conversations.
And stick around. You might be surprised by how often you've been saying some things. Well, let's just say there's a better way.
Trust me, even I learned something new preparing for this episode.
All right, let's dive in.
So, Rachel, I've been thinking about this topic because I remember when I was learning Spanish.
Oh, here we go with the Spanish stories again.
No, listen. I thought I was speaking perfectly, but then I met actual Spanish speakers and they were like, "You sound like a robot."
That's brutal. But honestly, that happens to everyone learning a new language. When you learn from textbooks or apps, you learn very formal English.
Right, like you might say, "I am going to the store to purchase some items."
Oh my gosh, exactly. Nobody talks like that. You just say, I'm going to the store to grab some stuff.
See? Much more natural. So let's break this down. What makes English sound natural?
Well, first thing, contractions. We use them all the time. Instead of I am, we say I'm. Instead of you are, we say you're.
And it's not just the basic ones. We also say things like would've instead of would have, or should've instead of should have.
Oh, and here's one that trips people up. Could've, not could've. That's wrong. It's could've, which is short for could have.
Good point. Now, what about those little words we throw in? Like, well, you know.
Ah, yes, you mean filler words. Those are actually super important. They make you sound more human.
Exactly. Native speakers don't just speak in perfect sentences. We pause, we think, we say or well.
Like if someone asks you a difficult question, you might say, well, that's a tough one. Let me think about it.
Instead of jumping straight into your answer, it gives you time to think and it sounds totally natural.
But don't overdo it. You don't want every sentence to be, like, well, you know.
Right, that would be too much. Now, what about reactions? Those little expressions we use.
Oh, those are huge. Like when someone tells you surprising news, you don't just say, that is surprising.
No way. You'd say something like, seriously? Or no way? Or are you kidding me?
Exactly. Or if someone tells you bad news, you might say, oh no, or that sucks, or uh-oh.
And good news? You could say, that's awesome, or nice, or sweet.
These reactions make conversations feel real. They show you're actually listening and responding emotionally.
Speaking of emotions, let's talk about tone. Your voice goes up and down, right?
Yes, this is so important. If everything sounds flat, it's boring. When you're excited, your voice goes up. When you're serious, it might go down.
Like, compare these two. I got the job, flat tone, versus I got the job, excited tone.
Huge difference. The second one actually sounds like good news.
Now, here's something that really makes you sound natural, using like for examples or approximations.
Oh yeah, we say like a lot. Not just young people, everyone does it.
Right. You might say, it was like really hot today, or there were like 50 people there.
But be careful, don't use it too much. Some people say like every other word, and that can be annoying.
True. Use it naturally, not as a crutch. What about those connector words? You know, the words that link ideas.
Oh, those are essential. Instead of just listing things, we connect them. Like anyway, so, actually, by the way.
For example, you might say, I went to the store, and anyway, I ran into Sarah there.
Or, actually, that reminds me of something funny that happened yesterday.
These words make your speech flow better. It's not just sentence, pause, pause.
Exactly. And speaking of flow, let's talk about shortcuts. Native speakers are lazy in a good way.
Thanks for calling us lazy.
No, but seriously, we take shortcuts. Instead of going to, we often say gonna. Instead of want to, we say wanna.
Right. I'm gonna go to the store sounds much more natural than I am going to go to the store.
But remember, this is for casual conversation. In formal situations, you might want to be more careful.
Good point. You probably wouldn't say, I want to work here in a job interview.
Exactly. Know your audience. Now, here's something interesting. We often don't finish our sentences.
What do you mean?
Well, if the meaning is clear, we might trail off. Like, if I were you, I'd probably, and just let it hang.
Oh yeah, or you could always, and the other person knows what you mean.
It's because we're having a conversation, not giving a speech. The other person is following along.
That brings up another point, interrupting. In natural conversations, people sometimes talk over each other.
Not in a rude way, but if you're excited or you want to agree, you might jump in with, oh, totally, or I know, right?
It shows you're engaged in the conversation. Just don't do it too much. That is rude.
Right. It's all about balance. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes that make people sound unnatural.
Ooh, this is good. What's the biggest one?
Being too formal, saying things like, I am pleased to inform you in casual conversation.
Yeah, you just say, hey, guess what? Or good news.
Another one is not using phrasal verbs. Native speakers love phrasal verbs.
Like, instead of I awakened early, you'd say I woke up early.
Or instead of please be seated, you'd say have a seat or sit down.
These sound so much more natural. What about questions? I notice learners sometimes make questions too complicated.
Yes, instead of would you be so kind as to tell me the time, just say what time is it?
Or instead of might I inquire about your weekend plans, say what are you doing this weekend?
Keep it simple and direct. And here's a big one. Use how's it going instead of how are you?
Why is that better?
How are you can sound formal. How's it going or what's up sound more casual and friendly.
And you don't always have to answer honestly. If someone says, how's it going? You can just say, not bad, you?
Exactly. It's social niceness, not a therapy session.
Right. Now, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a challenge.
Ooh, I like challenges. What do you have in mind?
Try having a 5-minute conversation using at least 3 of the techniques we talked about today.
That's perfect. Use contractions, add some filler words, throw in a reaction or two.
And pay attention to your tone. Make it go up and down naturally.
You can practice with a friend or even just talk to yourself in the mirror.
Don't worry, we won't tell anyone you're talking to yourself.
We've all been there. So today, we learned how to sound more natural in English by using contractions, filler words, reactions, and keeping things casual instead of too formal.
We also talked about tone, phrasal verbs, and those little connector words that make everything flow better.
Now here's my question for you. Which tip surprised you the most? Was it the filler words, the reactions, something else?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. We love hearing from you guys.
And if this helped you feel more confident about sounding natural in English, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more real conversations every week.
We post new episodes every Wednesday, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Until next time,
Keep practicing, and remember, mistakes are just part of learning.
see you next week.